So what do you think we should do? So what do you think we should do? So what do you think we So we are at 60%. So Healing Harvest is moving along. So we've reached the 60% on field 18. So we're getting closer to finishing this 80 acres of contract, and this has been a great example of staying consistent and seeing a job through. Um, One thing I want people to understand about farming is that success isn't always about the biggest purchase or the newest equipment. A lot of success comes from making the most out of the opportunities you already have. So this contract is helping us build us toward the future of Healing Harvest, and we're strengthening our finances. We're watching the market. We're planning our next moves carefully, whether that's water buffalo, expanding the cattle we already have, or you know invest in more land. Should we not invest in more land? I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out eventually. I'm gonna try to even this out so that way I just make one large pass each time. So trying to get these small areas like this done. Hopefully that cuts half my time. I don't actually know, but we're trying. So we're trying to strengthen our finances, and like I said, we're watching the market and trying to make sure that we get the best out of our crops. And you have to usually wait like a year, I think, on each crop to it's like one time a year where it's the highest, and then it goes lower after that. So you need to watch the market. What crop are you selling? You know, check all your crops. Make sure you check to make sure that it's not at the highest selling, so you can get the most for your crops. And we're playing on normal mode right now. So, we used to play on easy mode. I wanted a little more challenging, and I saw this map, and I was like, "Hey, I might like this," and I really like this map. It's again, guys, it's called Alma, Missouri. It is a map that you can download, and it's free. And I really enjoy this map. It's got um, acreage of land to buy, but contracts are very, very good. They pay very good on this map, so you can make a good profit if you do it right. So you know, expanding the cattle, or we could invest in more land, and we want that every decision to make this farm better each day that we continue to farm. This might work in my favor here. This is what I was trying to do is even out the cultivating, so it's just one large, sweep I have to go through. instead of cutting corners and stuff. So, every pass we make here is moving us closer to another big payment, and we want to financially help our farm, which is called Healing Harvest. This is why the contracts can be uh, very valuable part of the farm management, and I'm pretty sure you guys know about that. But make sure you look for the good ones. Don't just take any contract. You know, if you're new to Farming Simulator, get the good contracts, $10,000 more, depending on your map size and the land size. It all plays a part because if you're targeting one land and it's going to take you like 2 hours to do, and you still haven't made progress in your own farm, that doesn't help you, because you're not taking care of your crops first. But these contracts are worth good money, and it can help your farm grow. And that's what we are doing with Healing Harvest. We're trying to maximize our time. Since it's December, not really no crops are being harvested, and so we're looking for the good ones. Like this one pays a little over $80,000. So you can only imagine, how much money I could get from doing what I'm doing. This is why contracts can be very valuable. They help keep us productive even when our own fields aren't ready. Um, so while we're working, we're also thinking about the future. We've talked about expanding and our livestock operation with water buffalo and possibly creating a larger livestock area in the future. And but we're going to keep building the foundation first, and we're going to make sure that every investment strengthens the farm. Okay, so let me ask you, viewers, um, what do y'all think when we get this contract finished? Should we focus on expanding animals, saving toward more land, or continuing building our crop operation? Let me know in the comments. We're at 65%. It's going to be a little bit while I get through this field, um, but that is part of farming. Is we have to have patience, and if this thing's worth $80,000, I am going to finish this field and get that money because it would surely help to where we're trying to go. There we go. And you see why I did what I did. I get these long passes that is going to help us. And look how much land I have to do. That's a lot. That's a lot of land. You can only imagine if I was to buy this land and turn it into a huge cattle empire. But I don't think I want to do that. Not on this field. I think I want to keep this field as if I buy this at some point, it's $1.2 million. So it's worth a lot of money. So if I buy it, I want to make sure I have enough money and to build my cattle empire. Because if I buy it and I didn't have any other cash left over, and I'm trying to build the massive, cattle farm, that I may not be having budget. So you got to budget your money. You got to wait till the timing is right. Don't just go out and pay for it if you don't have the money to build your empire. All right, so we had to get some water. So we're getting close now, and this, you know, it's just a great reminder that big projects do take time. You know, now we're at 68%. It's taking time for me to get this done, but it's worth it in the end. It's going to help my farm strengthen my budget, and that's what I'm trying to do is maximize what I can in the wintertime and to keep growing our budget. So this was a great opportunity to jump on it. It was 82,000. I think it was $82,000. We'll look at it here in a minute because if I pause the menu, if I go to pause, it's going to save, and I don't know if this guy will still keep going. Let's try it. So yeah, I told you guys. Okay, he's still going. All right, so none of these look good. None of these contracts look good. I don't want no part of it. So I would not do any of those contracts if I were you guys. If it's like that, you can get way better than that. So don't waste your time doing that for an hour, and you're only going to get $5,000 out of it. What is that? Does that really? That really doesn't help you. So this we're earning strong income without um, without buying another piece of equipment. And so this allows us to keep our options open for the future, right? So we're still planning for the next chapter. And let's see, the next chapter I think looks like we talked about water buffalo, expanding our livestock operation, and even what a large pasture area could look like. But we're going to keep making uh, decisions based on what's best for Healing Harvest long term. So we're getting closer to that contract payout. We're at 70%. If you were running Healing Harvest, what would you do next? You know, would you expand livestock? Would you buy more land? What about keep building cash reserves? Once you know we we're almost we're almost done with this. We got 30% left to go. Yes, it's going to take a little bit to get there, but it's worth it in the end, guys. I'm telling you, some contracts are just worth it. And I usually use AI to do the contracts, but there's nothing for me to do right now, so I figured I'd do it. And I think I can do a better job than AI can because they always miss something. They It's just I wish they'd fix that in this game. They always get stuck. They always get to a tree or a car runs in front of them and they stop and now they don't know they can go again. It's just one after the other. Wish they'd fix this. 72%, guys. We're at 72%. Making progress. This takes a little bit. So we're getting very close to finishing this big 80 acres, guys. This is no this is a large field, and so you know this has been a long job, but it's also been a great example of how steady work pays off, right? So we started this contract because it was a good opportunity to bring income into Healing Harvest without making unnecessary purchases, right? We're trying not to do that. Um, I'm trying to avoid it. I like Farming Simulator. I like to buy big tractors and all that stuff, but this time go around, I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm gonna see, can I work with what I got? I got two medium tractors, the AGCO 8810s, the ones that cost $58,500, and some people don't like those tractors. I don't personally like those tractors, but I got 225 horsepower out of them, and for the price, it was worth it. So those tractors have been in good use. I use them quite frequently, and it helps me keep my bigger tractors, from being used too much. So I'd really try not to use my big tractor if I can. I got one big John Deere, and I think it has a little over 400 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. Dang, guys, this is taking a little bit. We still have all of that over there to do, and this. So that's doing these contracts. That's that's the kind of decision, making what we need to focus on, right? Using what we have, creating profit and keeping the farm moving forward, right? So as we get closer to completing this job, we are also looking ahead. Um, we're watching our milk prices, thinking about the future of our cattle operation, and considering whether water buffalo could become our next expansion. All right, but we're going to keep building wisely. We don't want to just to build something just to build because we want something. We need to make sure that we have all the feed that we need, because that's more. If we build that fence around that 40, I think it's 45 acres, that's going to be, if they reproduce a great number, I'm pretty sure that's going to hold every bit of 5,000 cattle. If they all grow up, can you imagine the milk you can produce? That is a lot of milk that can be produced. So, we're going to start with calves. I don't want to start with full grown water buffalo. Um, because they're just a little bit more expensive. I want to grow them up. I want them just to reproduce, you know, like they need to. And so that's the goal. And then get them up to where they need to be so they can start producing milk and continue to reproduce. So that way I don't have to keep buying calves. You know, they're giving me the calves for me. So that's how I want to do it. And yeah, I think that's how we're going to do it because I can still make a profit with my dairy cows. So that's not a problem. And I think next month I need to sell some milk because that's going to be the highest prices. So we're near 80% on this field. Probably, yep, I'd say it's probably fixing to be 77%. And so, yeah, it's, this is great. This is a great example of what farm management is all about. The job is taking in some time, but we're also generating income while we're doing this. So, yeah, it may take a little bit, but it's a good paying contract. I really would like to know what crop this was. Maybe sunflowers. We're doing good, guys. We're doing really good. It's only 326, so we're at 78%. It is kind of dark out there. Lots of clouds. Sorry, yeah, I really can't talk today. %. Mm-mm-mm. 'em. And if I own this field, I'd connect this. I would connect this and make it one huge. This could be a huge uh, property for cattle, and we could probably grow a lot of cattle. So, but maybe in the future, or maybe we keep it crops if we decide to buy this as crops. We could put it, in grass or, whatever. This job took time, but every pass brought us closer to our goal. And so we're building for the future of Healing Harvest. And we're not just trying to build just for the short term. We're building this for the long term. And so we're going to try to build our cattle operation, um, try to build it really well. You know, have a lot of cattle, but that also means we have to make sure we have enough TMR to do it, because if we don't have the cattle working at 100%, they're not going to produce milk like they're supposed to, and so we got to make sure that they are 100% on for the milk. What? Man, guys, that was weird. It's like I was trying to get the driving assist lane on, and I don't know what was weird. So, this contract that we're doing is going to give us a strong financial boost, and that's without adding more equipment costs. Sorry, guys, I had to take a drink of water. My mouth was getting dry. It's 80%. Woohoo! 80%. So once we finish, we're going to check our numbers. We're going to see where our budget is, and we're going to decide on the next move. We got some exciting possibilities ahead, and that's including our livestock expansion ideas and possibly adding water buffalo. Never done them, but we're going to make sure that every decision helps the farm grow. That is the goal. Yes, this is the lane I wanted. So we're going to try to make this even so I can make easier passes. Instead of making several turns, try to make this one smooth pass. So once we finish, we're going to check our numbers and, you know, really have some ideas about expanding the water buffalo. If we do that, what do you guys think about the water buffalo? Have you ever done them before? Um, are they profitable? What do you guys know anything about them? 'Cause I sure don't, but I'm going to give it a shot here on our channel. So, stay tuned for our channel. We try to make this content very, very friendly for everyone to watch, and there is no cussing, and we try to make everything clean on our channel. Sure. Let me cut across. I like to cut across. No, I want to go this way. Oh, whatever. Let me look at something real quick. Sorry, guys. I was trying to figure out what to do. I was trying to see if there was a way that I can go it horizontally. Got a lot of ways to go. We are at 81%, which is good. We started at 0%. So, you know, it does take some time, but it just takes patience. And then you'll get there and you're like, man, I got a good profit. And it feels like you did something that day, right? I'm sorry about earlier, guys. I don't know what was wrong with my mic. I had my mic on, and apparently it didn't hear. You couldn't hear anything I said um, about anything I was doing. So I truly apologize for that. Um, I don't know what happened with my headset, so I'm currently using my controller to talk to you guys, and so I don't know what happened to it. This wasn't working. So we're making progress, guys. Low one row at a time. So I would love to hear from you guys. Like, what do you guys like about Farming Simulator 25? Maybe you still play Farming Simulator 22, but what do you like about it? You know, what is your favorite thing about Farming Simulator? Is it just because it's relaxing to you? To me, I don't have to go shoot people. I don't have to, figure out, oh, what I'm going to do next. You know, fighting with people online. I'd rather do this. I don't have to listen to cuss words, and it's very relaxing. Yeah, that's what I should say. Very relaxing. So we're doing really good on our passes here. Like I said, I really like the steering assist they have that they did. This is this is so much better. Um, they've improved a lot of stuff, but there's still stuff they need to get fixed. AI guys, they got to get fixed because they work sometimes and they don't work sometimes. They get traffic pulls in front of them, then they stop and don't run anymore, and then you have to jump back in the tractor, restart them. It's just that just needs to stop. They really need to fix it. Giants, if you're watching this video, get this fixed. It's it's frustrating at times. Probably gonna miss that piece right there. Let's see. Yeah, figured I was gonna miss that. I'm gonna go get that piece. I don't know if every piece matters right now, but I'm gonna figure. I figured it does. So, we're doing pretty good, guys. We're at 84% now. Takes a little bit, but well worth it in the end. So we're gonna check our numbers once we get done with this contract, and we're gonna see where our budget is, and we're gonna decide our next move. So we've got some exciting possibilities ahead, including our livestock expansion. Like I said, we're, I don't know about the buffalo. I'm on the fence of it, but I think I want to do it because I think their milk is a little bit more profitable than regular milk from what I've seen. So that's the reason why I was thinking about going with water buffalo. I'm still going to keep the Holsteins. I'm still going to keep the Brown Swiss, but I think I want the water buffaloes separately and to grow that expansion um, pretty massive. So, um, but we want to make sure that um, every decision helps our farm, right? We're not trying to put our farm in debt by taking in more loan. We're going to try to pay this loan off as best we can while still making other profits and improving other areas. So we're doing really good, guys. We're really making progress here, and we're at 86%. Got to plug in my medication. It's just about to die on me. So we're in the final stretch of this big contract here, and this has been a great example of staying patient and following through on your plan. Um, yes, this is a contract, but understand that it helps boost your income, and I'm very particular about what contracts I take based on how much it is, how much they're going to take away from me if they're because I'm going to borrow their equipment, and also what can't is it are you making a profit by doing this? And I would say yes, because um, as long as you're not spending on every little thing, we have, I don't know, maybe six fields, maybe seven. I got to look at it, but um, they all have a purpose, you know. And so if you buy some land, you need to know your purpose of buying it. Are you buying it to put crops down? Are you buying it to put animals down? whatever you're doing with it, you got to make sure that you're getting you're producing something to get that money, to get that money flowing in. And so make sure you do it right. Don't just make a spontaneous decision. 88%. We're getting up there, guys. It's been it's been good doing this field. You know, it's very peaceful. You know, I wish it was wintertime now because it's so hot here in Texas. I can't tell you. Oh man, it is hot, hot, hot. So, they said that the other day that our temperature was going to be like 100, but it was going to feel like 120 degrees. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it was hot, hot, hot. Our AC ran and ran and ran. Um, but we tried to do everything we can to keep the heat out. We have curtains and stuff like that. But we do keep our windows open during the day because we like the original sunlight that it brings into the house. So 90%, guys. We are at 90%. So this job has been a great reminder, guys, that farming is built on consistency. Um, we didn't rush into spending money. We created an opportunity, right? Put in the work, and now we're about to see the reward. Once this contract is complete, we'll take a look at our new budget and decide what's next for Healing Harvest. You know, we have some great, we have some big plans, and we're considering including expanding our livestock operation. So we're possibly adding water buffalo and looking at future land opportunities. But we're going to keep making smart decisions and grow at the right pace. So we're not going to rush into anything. I mean, we're almost there, you know, and I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts of what should be the next project for Healing Harvest. So, uh, y'all let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. And we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Just a little bit longer. I know cultivating takes a while, but it is, we didn't have nothing better to do. 92%. So, so I'm, I'm still considering expanding. I mean, I think we're our current budget is going to be safe. I think it is going to cost around like two $200,000 because even if I went with the $25,000 fence that holds 2,000 cattle, I'm still looking at paying for that fence. So it's not we're not just buying um, a cow pen. We're actually expanding. We want the entire field fenced in, and we got to make that judgment call because do should we do it crop? Should we do grass? Should we do alfalfa? Or should we put a cattle pen on that field and cover it with entire fence line for the cattle to stay in? And that would probably give us about 4,000 cattle. Yeah, I would think it would give us about 4,000 that would fit there. So if our water buffalo, reproduce like they're supposed to, we can get to that number. It's going to take a long time, but we can get there, and I would like to see us get there. We've done so much for this farm, and it's just the way our farm works. We don't just buy anything. We look at the overall picture. Does it benefit us right now? Are we comfortable right now with what we have? So I'm comfortable with what we have. My tractors have been doing good. I have a Casey. It has like I think 302 horsepower. I try not to use that unless it's absolutely necessary. Um, so yeah, we've done a lot, for Healing Harvest. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for this because this is going to be a learning experience for all of us. You know about how to do things properly. Get the most yield out of your farm. I really can't wait till they come out with the next game because the next game is I they look like they're going to add some more animals and add some more responsibilities to these animals, and so I'm really interested to see how this other game turns out. 95%, 5% more to go. I was trying to see if I can go the other direction, but it's not letting me. I guess because I got to change the settings, but oh well. I was gonna see if I can go that direction, just make that curve and keep going around, but it's all right. We almost got this, guys. Almost got this. So we only have 4% left, and then this acreage will be completed. This has been a big job, but it's exactly the kind of opportunity that we want to take advantage of here at Healing Harvest. We're earning money without having to purchase additional equipment, and that keeps our cash available, for bigger decisions ahead. So we're doing really good. Come on, 100%. So we're almost there, guys. 2% more to go. And so, I'm just started thinking. So I'm leaning towards not buying Field 38 yet because we still have a $2.5 million loan. And that would sink all of our profits that we have, you know. And I'm seriously considering starting the Buffalo operation, but I think I want to start small because the calves are $200, and that's inexpensive, and we can learn how they perform before committing hundreds of thousands to a massive livestock expansion, right? So, but there's an important timing issue. Our cattle milk is expected to reach its highest price next month, and we have 26,437 liters stored. So, I think we should capitalize on that first, and then, so yeah, I think our immediate plan is finish here, build 18, and then we're going to collect the $81,000. We're going to protect our cash, and um, yeah, I think we should protect our cash, sell the milk next month when it's at its peak, and then establish the Buffalo operation. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. I think we got a plan, guys. I couldn't find, I could not find that other bill. I know it's on here, but I could not find it, guys. Wow, look at that income, $81,750. So there it is. Field 18 is officially complete. We put in the work on this 80-acre field, and now we're ready to collect our payment, which we just did. So before we spend a single dollar, we're going to check our finances and look at our next opportunity. So we look at our finances. Let's scroll down here. So we see that the loan interest, it looks like it's $8,500. It was up to $9,100. Well, remember we paid down the loan from $3 million, so now it's $2.5 million. So our bogus, we have not started the BGA plant income yet. We're still working on getting um, more produced, as I can show you. See, there's not much digestate or methane to sell. So we're going to have to, let me stop slurry, 5 liters. So the silage is going to have to take over, which we have. And we will get some more manure. We will get slurry. So yeah, I think it's working out great. We don't do sugar beet. Sorry guys, if you want us to do sugar beet, I don't do sugar beet. So so this one's getting kind of low. That's our first silo. Our second silo is doing pretty good. It's in decent shape, but I think next month we're going to have to stop the storing because our, you know, fermenting the grass into silage because we're going to run out of grass because we're only in January, or going to January and February where we don't harvest anything until March, and then we plant the soybeans in April, and so yeah, that's the way we do it. But where is he at? There he is. Forgot to move this guy over here. Let me see if he needs to do field. I think it's field 2 right here. I can't remember if we did it or not. I don't think we did. I think we did the other two. Yep, we didn't do it. Okay, come on. There we go. I'm gonna go put this guy over here. I think I'm gonna use one of those um, grass fields as hay this next time because I need to get some more hay. Well, let's look. So he's doing that. Let's see the contracts. No, 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 not worth it. Not worth it. So I wouldn't accept any of those contracts. Not worth your time. Um, you can you can do better than those. Don't ever do the contracts that are this small. Get the bigger ones. Our our map is we have huge fields. This map, and it's called Alma, Missouri, and this map is I think it's really good, and it has huge fields, huge payouts, and and it's not compacted here. It has uh, some of the map they compact all uh, the selling points, and but this is kind of spread out a little bit, and it's all kind of right there. There is a grain mill, and I looked at it, and you have to fix it up. You have to get the materials. It needs wood beams and it needs planks, 6,000 liters planks. I'm not doing wood. I'm not. doing forestry. So I don't know if this would be a better project for me to do. I've considered it, and I'm still considering it because you have to fix it up, and it's I don't know. What do you guys think? Put in the comments. Do you think I should fix this up and use it as a selling point? I mean, what do you guys think? This is kind of interesting discussion here. Um, let's see if we go up here. I was just kind of curious if there was anything there. I think we're good. I think we're gonna go fast forward to next month. You know, I'm gonna type in our budget for to keep track of what we're doing, and I may get let me fill him up a little bit. He gets a lot of work in. Try to fill him up a little bit because I he gets a workout. This trailer, this fertilizer. I'm telling you, we fertilize our fields really often, and so I'm trying to fill him up a little. And maybe I'll fill him up to 100%. I don't know. It just takes a long time to do it this way, but I normally don't do it this way. But it's a mod that I use, and you can get stuff there for free. So I was like, hey, I'll use it, and I tell you what, it's been good that I had it a few times because I've been like I can't afford a whole lot right now. So we're almost at 50%. And he doesn't use much on this fertilizer. It doesn't use a whole lot when it's spreading because it's got a pretty good big sprayer on it. Sorry, guys, I just have to do this, and we'll fast forward here in a minute.
I don't know.
So this is going to be 59%. This also takes you know, where you don't have to take a trip all the way to the store. And 67%. Almost there, guys. Well, this is going to be a wrap, guys. We are going to do some work offline, and then we'll be back later on for another episode of Healing Harvest. This is Shane, your farmer, signing off. See you again.